Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on your time zone. I am Forum Rajdev, WI Chair Gujarat section, and I welcome you all, panelists and the attendees, on behalf of entire IEEE Gujarat section team and on behalf of Marwadi University. I wish you all a very happy Women in Engineering Day. On this occasion, I would like to share one incident that last year I had planned that I decided that I would surely organize one big and beautiful event on WIE Day. But we don't know what happens, and suddenly we see this Corona time, and we all are in mask now. So suddenly time has changed, and so plans also changed. And this COVID-19 has changed our lives, our world. When nature is taking away something, it is also giving us something. The event we should plan today is also not the last. It will be truly an international celebration as we are benefited from the galaxy of international speakers. Yes, we have international speakers here with us today. And surely it will be very inspirational session and have so much expectation. And I'm so excited to begin this panel discussion now. So first, I'll start with introduction of our panelists. We have with us Dr. Mini Olanath. Dr. Mini is an information scientist by profession. She is the system manager of Cochin University of Science and Technology. She is a technology analyst and she is working with so many IT projects. She has received many prestigious scholarships, international fellowships also, including from UK, I think Fulbright scholarship from USA, CICC scholarship from Japan, and so many are there on her list. She is holding leadership positions in the local, national, and international committees. She is currently the chair of WIE Kerala section, and she is the vice chair of Internet Society Trivandrum chapter, and she is also vice chair of ACM Kochi. She was holding the post of National Student Coordinator of Computer Society of India. We are so happy to have Dr. Mini Olanath with us. And I would like to know more about her from her own words. So please, Dr. Mini, can you please tell us something more about your journey?
Thank you, Forum. Is it okay if I speak like this? Because when I switch on my video, I have some network issues. Let me just try once again.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I will start. I don't want to spend time. So next time I'll get prepared beforehand.
No
so
worries.
Thank you. Thank you, Forum, for that wonderful introduction. I would be happy to hear about others also, because my things are already said. I am from a very, traditional background, from a very traditional Orthodox family. I started off first generation woman in the family to pursue technical education. But somehow I had always a passion in technical. I had always a passion for technical education, and somehow I started off as an electrical engineer, and later I found that no, that is not my area. I got more interested in computer programming. I shifted to computer science, took a master's. My master's is in computer information science, and I found that more precisely, I'm more interested in information science. So all my fellowships and work has been more or less working around information science per se. And I found that during my journey, I never thought that these are all something very really milestones or marking, but somehow I enjoyed my work one after the other. It so happened that I found one after the other, like when I was working in the area of digital library, I got a full occasion to hear from an American professor, and later on I wanted to do some work with him, and that's how I landed up in Fulbright Fellowship. Later on, when I was working with the cyber, systems as a whole, I had to do something really hard during my cybersecurity, and that's how I landed up in a UK fellowship, and that's how I started off. And I will explain more when I get the next chance. I think others are also waiting for it. Thank you, Forum, and let me congratulate you, IEEE Gujarat section and Marwadi University, for bringing all of us together, and all of us are eagerly waiting to hear what is happening in the other part of the world also. So thank you, and over to you, Forum.
Thank you, ma'am. Now I'll introduce Dr. Alexandra Posaldova from Brisbane, and I have her resume in my hand, so I'll read a part of it. Dr. Alexandra is data scientist working closely with clients, helping them to find patterns in their data, derive insights, and predict future directions. As AI projects are not only about developing machine learning models, but also about deployment of the solution, Alexandra is advocate for CI/CD process and establishing good coding practices to ensure flawless customer experience. After finishing her PhD in data science, where she designed recommendation engine combining content and collaborative approaches, she worked for multiple companies and AI projects on variety of AI tasks ranging from natural language processing classification to time series predictions. Alexandra is also passionate IEEE volunteer, and I have seen that. As Vice Chair of IEEE Queensland, she derives local committee of volunteers to deliver quality events on variety of technical topics. Last year, she started IEEE Blockchain and IoT Group to embrace emerging technology space. First IEEE group focused on cutting edge technology in Australia. That's really good. Dr. Alexandra, now we would like to know more about your work, your professional life as an engineer. So I'm sure it will be inspiration for our other attendees. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you for having me. So I started my studies as a master's of telecommunication, and closer to finishing it, similar to Minnie, I realized this is not what I want to be doing. I didn't want it to be a network engineer. And so the opportunity came to design a recommendation engine for one international project. And so I made that to be my PhD thesis. And that's how I got into data science. And it was a bit of a lucky coincidence, because back then data science wasn't such a big topic. AI wasn't such a hot topic as it is now. So by the time I finished, I was well positioned to take on data science role. And so yeah, I can say that I started to do data science when it wasn't a hot topic.
Thank you, Alexandra. I'm so happy to see you. Now, we also have with us Miss Nikapon. She is from Thailand, and she's my good friend. She's my good friend, but I was not aware that her resume is so long. I think it's around 20 pages, so I couldn't read it. But yes, she is president of IEEE HKM. She served as lecturer biomedical signal and image processing class for undergraduate students at King Mongkut University of Technology in Thailand. She's training the trainers, and she has done tremendous work in research and published so many research papers, and she's serving as reviewer with 12 journals, and she has moderated a number of tracks, number of sessions, and a lot of work organizing technical events, and she chaired a lot of, so how can I read all these things better? She is the right person. I feel that she should share her achievement with us, and I'm sure that will be motivation for all the attendees.
Thank you, Forum. So, wow, what a great introduction. Yeah, so first of all, I would like to say that being an engineer gives me a lot of opportunities in my life. I started doing research related to the engineering fields since I studied in Bachelor of Media Technology at King Mongkut University of Technology, Thonburi. And because I started it earlier, so I've got scholarships to pursue my study in master and PhD degree in Chulalongkorn University, and also cooperated with the University of Trento in Italy. So since then, I have continued to, produce more papers, whether it is conference or journals. And I've got 5 best paper awards from different international conferences. So as of now, I've got 3 journals in ISI and Scopus database and more than 15 conference papers. So one more thing that I would like to talk about is about I'm not afraid to challenge myself in the competition. This is a very good way to practice yourself and enhance your skill. So like, for example, in my bachelor degree, I joined the competition by proposing the project of rice detection by using a drone to detect the rice field. And I got the second runner-up from that competition. And like for my master degree, I joined the 3-minute thesis competition, which is held by the University of Queensland. And this is very challenging competition because you need to present your work, your thesis work within 3 minutes for everybody to be able to understand your work. So like for that one, I got the first runner for the competition. And as of now, as my current situation as PhD student, I've received the silver medal from the International Exhibition of Invention in Geneva, Switzerland. So yeah, it's all hard work and determination. And what I'm proud the most is that I can like transfer my experience and can share some knowledge as a lecturer or a mentor to undergraduate students, and serving as the volunteer in IEEE in Teacher in Service program, and also in the MUData chapter as the honor student chapter as well. Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Tita Fawn. It was nice experience to hear from you, and we will hear from you again. Now, I'll introduce Miss Ravya. She's from Canberra. So, Miss Ravya, she is doing her PhD at the Australian National University, and her research is based on machine learning application for wireless communication. She has over a decade of experience of teaching various electronics and telecommunication courses at undergraduate level, along with supervising semester projects. She has done a lot of work for Y as an advisor, and she is very active Y member as well as young professional member, and she is my good friend too. So now, Rabia, we would like to know what inspired you to be an engineer. Over to you, Rabia.
Thank you for the sweet and I think sugary words. First of all, I would like to say when I took engineering as a profession, I never thought I'll be sitting in a platform like this, and a lot of people will be listening to me, and they will be like, I will be the source of inspiration for them. But today, I think if I have achieved this much, then I think, yeah, I have worked in the right direction. So I think my choices of career and my profession, they evolved with the time. So when I was a kid, I was more interested in, asking questions about how is this road made, where it's gonna go, what is like on the other side of the building, how this bridge is like standing above the water. And I had those things in my mind. And then later when I studied the basic subjects in my high school and primary schools, and I got interested in mathematics and then physics. So I mean, after as if I grew in my education side, I realized that I was more tended towards the technological courses, or courses which were related with some kind of physics or some kind of concepts involved. So when I reached my high school level, I told my father once, and I told him that I want to be an engineer. And he said that, what makes you think like that? Because and at that time I didn't know much about like which kind of engineering options do we have. And I said, yeah, because I love, fixing the switchboards, and I think I enjoy it. So I want to become an engineer. And I think I myself at some stage where I want to work for the society, because I think engineering jobs, they are much of a practical side which have results in the form of physical outcomes. So whatever you do is for the service of the society. So that is like very much apparent to the people. That's what actually inspired me to choose engineering as a profession. Thank you.
Good to know about you, Rabia. I'm really feeling so glad that we are really fortunate that we have all amazing speakers with us today. And they all are amazing leaders too. As per my knowledge, last year Kerala section received prestigious IEEE Affinity Group Award. And I congratulate Dr. Mini for this award. And ma'am, we would like to know about your leadership. How did you step into your leadership role, and becoming a leader is very big process. So you might have learned so many lessons from that. So we would like to know about your experience, ma'am.
Thank you, Forum. Yeah, I'm also very happy and proud to share the news that we received the best award both in MGA and Arton, which was really a thrilling moment for us. And it so happened that I became the chair at the right position, because this has been a long journey. It is not a 1-year activity. We have been building up this for a long time. And when you talk about Kerala section, I'm sure that you must be knowing, we have a very active women technical community, When you look at the intake, it is almost 50%. Girls outnumber boys in certain disciplines. Otherwise, also, we have a very active girls in the entry level. But what is worrying us very much is that there is a leaky pipeline, after some time we don't know where exactly these people are disappearing. Okay, that is a different thing. So coming to the leadership, as you told, I don't think that I got into the role at any point of time. It is basically how you design a process. To me, leadership means you should have self-confidence, you should have a vision, you should work for the vision, you should be ready to take up the responsibility, and also a little bit of risk involved. So that is how we were working, and it is a group activity. Like, I can very well proudly say that my community has won, but if something goes wrong also, I need to take up the responsibility. If it is one, means it's a group. It is because of the group. And we have a very active power girls also behind, and the work of all these people. Actually, we had 182 events reported, which means one activity happening in every 2 days across the state. So that's how we are just promoting. Not me, I should not say I, but generally what the beginning of the year itself, we set a goal that at least one activity each and every SB should do for something of for the betterment of WI volunteers. That is one thing which and we make sure that every 2 months we call all the VCHAs and ask them to present the report, so that they should have something to present what has been done and what they're planning. So this is how we are just slowly motivating them and making sure that they're coming up with something next time. Okay, I think that is enough. Thank you.
I feel that I have to learn so many things from you, and I'll come there.
Sure, you're welcome.
Down, and I definitely come there to take training under you.
Please, you're always welcome.
We can also plan a collaborative event. We will plan for that again. Yeah.
Sure.
So moving further to the discussion. Yeah. So now I'll talk to Dr. Alexandra. Alexandra, I know that you are doing amazing work in your field, but with the same, you're also enjoying your life. So your personal life is also fantastic. I know you enjoy cooking and planting. I know about you. And you're also doing great in your career. So how do you strike the balance between this professional life and personal life? We would like to know more about that, Alexandra. Especially this COVID-19 situation, and women are supposed to do so much of household work. So at that time particularly, how do you manage your personal and professional life? Over to you.
That's a great question, and I don't have the perfect secret sauce for that, or perfect formula. I'm still trying or learning to balance it, and I always wish there was more hours in a day than there is. But during COVID, in my company, there was no work from home policy before, and all of a sudden we all had to work from home. from from one week to another. So we had to quickly move and shift to be to learn to be productive working from home. And for me it was not such a big change, because I did that before and I quite enjoy it now, because I wake up the same time as before, but instead of starting working at 8:30, I start working at 7 o'clock, because I don't have to get ready, I don't have to travel for half an hour. And I also tell myself that I will finish early, but that doesn't always happen, and I happen to finish at the same time as if I travel to work. So the positive of working from home because of COVID is that you have that flexibility and you don't have to travel to work. But the downside of it is that you can easily get caught up in work, and your laptop is just a few steps away, so you are tempted to check your emails, to check your company chat. So yeah, you need to really watch that and keep that time away from work when you officially not working or not supposed to be working. But to balance work and free time, I think it's good to have something that you love to do or outside of the work, so you don't get you are not overworked and your mind can rest. I think people can come up with more creative ideas when they learn how to rest properly and to rest their minds. Yeah, so that would be my secret sauce, how to keep balance between work and personal life.
So if it is sometimes, if you feel that you have to choose like personal or professional, then what will you do? What you will
If I have to
prefer?
choose, well, if that's a choice, then that's another good thing. I think the professional life should align with your personal life. So you should be doing, what you're passionate about, what you want to be doing. If it's something that's draining you, then you should be just thinking of changing your career. So the best thing is if those two align and you can come home from work and you still have the energy to do other things like cooking or whatever your other passions are.
I would say you are living proper life. Pro is for professional and per is for personal. So you are living proper life, professional as well as personal.
Thank you.
So now, moving further to the discussion, now I'll talk to Thitapon. Thitapon, you're doing great as an engineer and as a researcher. So what is your advice for our listeners and for women trying to break into engineering and technology fields?
Yes, thank you, Forum. This is a very good question. I have some advice for all women. And first of all, ladies, you need to believe in yourself. Yes, this is a very, very important thing that you need to do first. Like sometimes you might face problems or difficulties that, because to approach to engineering is not that easy, right? So that feelings might come to you and maybe you just think that, oh, this is too hard for me. I can't do this. This is for men, like this. Because, as engineer field, there are lots of men out there. And some of you may compare yourself, like you use your gender to judge your potential, to underestimate your potential. And I just want to tell you that the way of thinking that is not good and is totally bad for you. You need to think about how can you improve yourself by not relying on others and not comparing yourself with others. You just need to try your best and believe in yourself. The most important thing is that some girls just lack of confidence. So I just want to tell that this is 2020. We recognize the importance of gender equality. Girls and boys women and men, we all have the same rights, the same resources and opportunities. So just please believe in yourself that you can do whatever you want. Just, bring the positive thinking into your mind. And this is my first advice for all the girls out there. And the second one is that you need to fight for your dream. Your dream can't be achieved by just dreaming. You need to take an action, a serious action actually, because as I mentioned before, engineer field is not that easy. It's not, we need to face a lot of mathematical terms and technical, a lot of things. And that's why you need to fight for your dream. You need to work really hard and put an intelligence effort and determination. So just please do your best to achieve your goal. And my third advice is you need to create opportunity for yourself. Don't just wait for it. Again, we live in the modern world. You can search for any information you are interested in. For example, if you want to apply for a scholarship in engineer, you can just search for scholarship maybe in abroad or in your country. It just depends on you. Or maybe you would like to get some project fundings or the application for a study or for a job. You can just find more information and find what is the best for you. So once you see your opportunities, you need to prepare yourself for that. And yeah, just don't forget to remember that you can do whatever you want. And my last advice for women is that it's not okay to not be okay. Because sometimes you might feel down, you might feel tired, like, oh my God, I feel so tired. I want to quit this. I want to stop. I don't want to do it anymore. It's just like a feeling that everyone has it. So that is totally fine. You just, need to take a rest and just stop thinking too much. And the most important thing is that don't give up. You need to keep pushing, and one day you will pass through this, and then you will see the big picture of the problem you face, and you will become the better version of yourself. You will be stronger than ever. Yes, so this is the advice from me to all the women out there. So just remember that you need to stay strong, dare to dream, believe in yourself, and don't give up. That's it. Yes.
Thank you, Titapon, for all your advice. Before we move further, I would like to acknowledge the gracious presence of Professor Anil Roy. And we have got more than 100 participants here, and from India, from Bangladesh, from Thailand, from USA, and I'm really very happy from Lahore. I'm really very, very happy to see this list. Okay, so now moving further. Yeah, now I'll talk to Rabia. Rabia, in India, we see, like in earlier times, we know that rare number of female will choose technical field. Mostly they will go for liberal arts kind of courses. But now, I think since 2 decades, we see the change, and now we see that female ratio is becoming stronger, and in technical field especially, now the ratio is becoming stronger. We see good number of female students. But it should reflect to workplaces also. I still feel that at workplaces, we don't see the ratio expected of male-female. I don't know about Australian culture. So are you also facing the same situation? And if so, what is that holding women back? Women of 21st century, but still we are facing this issue. So what are your takeaways on this?
Yeah, this is actually a very important question, and it's very debatable, and I really wanted to talk about it. So yes, I think there is some kind of gap. There is some kind of gender discrimination happening all around the world. It is improving, with no doubts. It is improving a lot with the massive feminism and women empowerment and women in leadership wave. And now, organizations and institutions, they are encouraging women to take the positions, to be the team leads, and to enjoy the equal perks that men enjoy. But there is another side of the picture. For example, I was reading a documentary from the UK where uh, young kids were asked to draw the images of a surgeon, of a firefighter, and an engineer, and without any exception, they all ended up drawing them as men. So this shows that the bias that we have in picturizing these roles, because they are more of a men oriented roles. So what we need to do is we need to break these stereotypes. We need to see beyond these things. So we don't need to keep these kind of general bias that, okay, this kind of profession belongs to men and the other kind of profession belongs to women. For example, when we say a nurse, so the common thing that comes to your mind is, okay, it's going to be a female, and then a male nurse ends up visiting you. So we need to break these stereotypes, and we need to stop thinking in that biased manner, and we need to start encouraging women and telling them that the doors are open for you. You need to just choose what you want to do in your life. You just need to feel secure in whatever you're doing in your life, and then there are multiple opportunities for you. And especially here, I would like to say that webinars or seminars and workshops, hands-on workshops, more exposure to young women like this can actually help us a lot. We need more female role models who can inspire them, who can tell them their life stories, and from their experiences they can come forward and they can see that the reality is totally different. The only thing that it need is to do that, what I think Bunny has mentioned already, that they need to believe in themselves. There are various opportunities lying out there, and women is equally participating in every field. You just need to take hold of your life, and you need to step out. That's the only thing that is holding them back.
I totally agree with you. We should encourage female to come and to enter this field. But I know, we knowing this solution also, we are facing the problem. So I don't know how this can be the situation we can overcome. So I take this discussion further with Alexandra also. Alexandra, I feel that there should be diversity everywhere, like in education, at workplaces, everywhere. Variety should be there. What are your views? And if you feel that it is important, then please share your views there. Why it is important to have diversity at workplaces or everywhere, I say.
Yeah, so I see many universities as well as companies taking steps towards increasing diversity and balancing out the genders in IT. And the reason why they're doing it is because if you surround yourself only with people, like-minded people, you will be just echoing your own opinions, but you will never come up with solutions that are outside of the box. So diversity is very important, especially when you try to solve a complex challenges, complex questions, and you're looking for new ways how to go about the solution. So when you bring to the table people with different backgrounds, males as well as females from different cultures, they will have different life experiences, and they will have different views on how to solve that problem. And together, such a team can arrive to conclusion much quicker. And will probably be solution that you would not think you would not come up with by yourself. So, and many companies are realizing this, and that's why they're pushing for the gender equality and diversity, and it's really good to see that.
To know this, thank you. Now, my next question is to Dr. Mini. Dr. Mini, the mostly, see, I have gone through all your work and I know about you, but the most important thing is you're involved with NGOs. So that is, I felt I should share with you that I liked that part of your life, and you're multitasking. You are doing good work with IEEE, for WI, for education, for these NGOs. Then what is that best thing which make you feel good, and what is that moment as a woman you feel that you are proud of? So what is that accomplishment that you feel proud of?
Yeah, thank you, Forum. I also enjoy telling this. That is one thing which is really I feel passionate about. I have been visiting this socially. They are called. I don't like calling them as. These are places where girls of age between 8 and 15 are basically staying. The parents are also there, but they cannot afford to. So we do a lot of hand holding. For example, we do teach them basics of science, English. English is one area where they really want something. There are few other NGOs also which I work for who are doing this. And my area is basically, currently what I'm working is promoting the safe usage of internet for women and girls and defending women's rights online. So this is one area which I really feel proud and accomplished, and I feel there are very few girls. Now I'm trying to handhold and bring more and more girls into this area where we hardly see any women in this area, but there are cyber secure girls and all these people coming up. But I think it is all our responsibility. It's our responsibility as technical people to make sure that cyber world is a safe area for girls to play with. That's all. That's it.
I'm really feeling great to know this, ma'am. I would also share one incident with our panelists and other attendees that when I called Dr. Mini and I asked, I think just a week ago, I called her and I asked, hey Mini, can you please join us for this panel discussion? And she was, yeah, I'll join definitely. Uh, and then I asked her for the resume. She sent me the same day. And when I was going through the resume, I felt like, oh my God, she's having 30 years of experience and she has done so much work. And I was like, hey, Mini, will you please join us for this discussion? I should have been more formal, or I should have said Dr. Mini, Professor Mini. Instead of that, I said, hey, Mini, can you join us for this discussion? But she is down to earth and she said, yes, yes, Forum, definitely, I will join. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation, ma'am.
Come on, this is a professional so there is no formality needed for him.
So nice. This is what we have to learn from you. That's why you are a great leader, ma'am.
Thank you. I'm humbled.
Thank you, ma'am. Ravi, I would like to know from you, what is one advice that you would like to give here to our attendees?
Apart from what I think Bunny has already said, I'm also
What is
of
your
the
advice? What is your advice?
Yeah. So so I mean, I am also of the opinion, because this is my life story, that the thing that has brought me here is my self-determination and my belief in myself, that I can do this and I have done it. So if you strongly believe in whatever you want to do, just go for it. You know, even if 100 people come to you and tell you that you can't do it, so don't listen to them. You should have one strong reason to stand for yourself. And this is for everyone. I mean, this is not for the girls out there, and this is for the girls and the guys who are watching this right now. So just believe in yourself and be determined and try to put the best you can into it. So your hard work is always going to pay off. And the second important thing, which I think is the need of the hour and which we all should think about, is that we should, which I have learned also, like I have spent 3 years here in Australia now, and I think this is one thing which I've learned from this society, is that we need to start supporting each other. So it's a very pity thing, but it's a very important thing. I mean, we need to start supporting each other. We need to start accepting other people's existence, and we need to promote diversity. Either it is cultural, either it is gender, and we need to have this faith that there is enough sky up there for everyone to fly. I mean, we don't need to be stingy about it. We don't need to pull each other's leg. We just need to support. I mean, if my friend is doing great, I should be there for her. If my other friend is doing great in something he enjoys, I should be there for them also. So this kind of, society is going to nurture in a very good way, and it's going to bring quality of students, quality of professionals out there. And I think, so my vision has always been that I really want to see the youth, because that is the age when your energy is at your maximum level and you can bring the best out of yourself. So I really want to see my youth involved in I mean, myself also, I'm still young. So I want to see my youth involved in innovation, and I want to see my women contributing equally towards the betterment of the society, because I believe that, together we can do it better. There's no other way of doing it. We should come out and we should do it. I mean, why we are staying, whatever is like keeping you aside, or whatever reasons you have, they're not worth it. Come on, just stand up for yourself and do it.
I am totally agree with you that we should help each other, we should support each other, we should stand with each other, and this kind of professional society like WI has helped us, and that is why we all are together on one platform. We all met at one place, and that's due to WI. If you all
Yeah, it's one of the examples. Yeah,
that is the main reason that we made. I met all of you there during that conference, and I'm really thankful to WI for organizing such kind of conferences. And I would recommend all attendees to join any such professional society. I would like to take Bunny's view on this. Thitapon, your views on this, like why would you recommend WI membership to all our attendees, or any professional society? They should take membership of any professional society.
Yes, okay, let I recall a little bit. So I've become WIE member.
And sorry to interrupt you, you also share how WIE had helped you.
Yes, sure. So I've become a WIE member since 2016. And at first, I understand that this community only allow women to join, No men allows here. And actually, that's not true at all, people. The WIE welcomes men and women equally, but aims to promote women in engineers and scientists, and inspire girls around the world to pursue their career in engineering. So for my experiences, WIE provides me opportunities to meet many, many more inspiring women from around the world. Yes. So like my first WIE meeting is when I attended ICT, Girls in ICT Days back in 2016 in my country, in Thailand. And at that time, I think I was in my master degree. And it was like my opening for me, because I see a lot of women that have the same interest as me. They are interested in in technologies, and when I found this community, I feel like, oh, I'm not alone. I have friends that accompany with me. And then later in that year, I joined the IEEE R10 SYWL, which I made a lot of new friends over there. And that is the big congress. The first one is when it is held in India, Bangalore.
Bangalore.
Yes. So I am so amazed by many active WIE members. And I've met so many professional members, speakers, student WIE members, and there's more, And these people really do encourage women to start a career in engineering and technology fields. And they provide a way to achieve it. And the next time I joined is the SYWL in 2018 in Bali, Indonesia. And yes, like every time I'm surrounded by WIE members, I feel like this is a truly supportive community for women. And like you will get the motivation from literally everyone. For example, if you are in the event and then you walk and talk to someone, they will give the active energy, the positive vibes to you. Yes, and you will feel it like pretty much. Yes, it's a really good community here. And the interesting thing is that I have lots of new friends, and some of them become my best friend. Yes. And it did actually happen. Like some people just like, how is it possible? Like you meet these people like every 2 years and then you become best friends. But it actually possible. So yeah, I just want you to understand that, oh, how is this community is so great and so supportive, and yeah, it's really really great. So yeah, in my opinion, I would say that WIE has helped me by giving me friendship, the motivation and opportunities to follow my interest in engineering, because the WIE also provides funding for any projects you would like to do, and you can ask for funding as well. And yeah, it's just like the full package for women who wants to pursue their career in engineer and science fields. Yes, so that is amazing. Really recommend WIE to everyone.
Right. WI is like an ocean. Whatever we know, it is always we feel it is less, and we want to know more and more and more. Last December, I had planned for one panel discussion, and I had called 4 speakers for that. And one of the speakers was Dr. Preeti Bajaj. She couldn't attend because her flight got cancelled. And one more lady, Professor Biri Sumangala, and Dr. Rajashri Jain. Rajashri Jain could join us, but Professor Sumangala's flight got delayed by 3 hours. So I feel that that panel discussion was not so successful, but today we have very successful panel discussion. So I'm so glad. See, when COVID is taking away something, it is also giving us something. And this is really, it was nicely organized and you all joined on time. Now we will take one question answer session, but before that we will play one rapid fire round, and my questions are ready. So we will start with Dr. Mini. Ma'am, I will ask you questions and I'll take 5 questions. You have to give me prompt answer, maybe in 1 word or in 1 line, not more than that. Yeah?
Okay.
Are you ready, ma'am?
Yeah.
Okay. Things you would like to change in India when it comes to women?
Man empowerment.
Okay. Relation between you and WIE?
Great. I am a passionate volunteer.
Women's respect?
Should be the first priority always, and that really shows how a man is, defines a man.
What's your favorite quote?
Oh, I have got so many favorite quotes. You have put me in a difficult time. Pass.
Pass?
Yeah,
Okay, no worries.
okay.
Your one advice to your family?
Leave me alone. Let me
Oh my
enjoy.
God!
All of us can have a good time that way.
Oh my God! I think that is advice from all of us. Wonderful answer. Now, Dr. Alexandra, are you ready, Alexandra?
I thought so, but now I'm a bit scared.
Good luck. Good luck. Okay. What does being a female mean to you?
Making compassionate decisions.
Wow. Who is your female role model and why?
So, Maria Theresa, because she was back in 17th century, she was the only ruler of Habsburg monarchy, and it wasn't really expected from female to take on a crown. And from living, it would be past CEO of IBM, Ginny Rometty.
Okay, good to know this. I have to explore more on this. What's the one thing that makes you happiest?
One thing, coffee.
Oh, we can have together online. You drink from there and I drink from here.
Sounds good.
We'll plan this weekend. Okay, next question is Women in Engineering Day.
Pardon? Women in Engineering Day?
Women in Engineering Day.
Sorry, what about it?
Sorry?
What about it? What about Women in Engineering Day?
Anything you feel in 1 word. What is Women in Engineering Day for you?
Oh, it's a celebration and reminder that women can be engineers. It's not only restricted to men.
Okay, next and last question. Love.
Low.
Yeah.
Not sure what that means.
Love. L-O-V-E.
Love.
Love. Yeah.
Love.
Oh, wow, that's a big topic.
Oh, quick.
Love yourself, and then you will find your other half who will love you for who you are.
Beautiful answer by you, Alexandra. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, Theta Are you ready, Theta
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, good luck. Women as an engineer. Come on.
An engineer, creative, and strong.
Good answer. If you could have one superpower, what would it be and why? Superpower.
Yeah, I want to have the power of inner healing. So
Great.
I can heal any sadness or depression from everyone in just one single.
Oh my God. Beautiful. Beautiful answer. Everybody needs that power.
Yeah.
Next question is female empowerment.
Sorry, female?
Female empowerment. Female empowerment.
Just like I think, just like I said before, believe in yourself and encourage each other.
Good. Your professional dream.
Wow. Whoa. Maybe become
So many on list.
a lecturer who can travel around the world.
Oh wow. I'll accompany you. I'll come with you everywhere. Okay. Next and last question. Marriage.
Manage.
Marriage. Yeah.
Manage. Okay, so
Not manage, marriage, wedding. Wedding. Wedding.
I think I have problems with connection.
Yes, marriage is always a problem.
Oh my God.
I think she gave the answer. She said I have a problem with the connections.
Yeah.
Correct. Yes, you are right, Rabia. Yes, Rabia, you are right. And I agree. I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
Okay, so now next is Rabia. I can't stop laughing. Rabia,
Yeah.
are you ready, dear?
Yeah. Bring it on.
Okay. So your first question is, what's your favorite film with a female lead?
Oh, the female lead. So I saw this movie. I forgot the name, but I saw this movie of the first female lawyer last year, and I forgot the name. I don't know. It was but I love that movie. I mean, I forgot the name, but I love that.
That's fine. You can text me.
It was
later.
last year, I think.
You can text me later, yeah?
Yeah, I'll tell you.
Next question is your most influential woman. Most influential women.
Most influential woman, I think. So I don't have any favorite, but I do follow this Queen of the Jordan, Queen Rania. I really love her. I don't know why. I really love her, the social work that she's doing, and she is coming from a Muslim background, and I see how is she going outside and helping people, and she's just breaking most of the stereotypes. So I really love her.
Okay, good to know this. Your next question is world without women.
It's gonna be a big mess.
Sorry?
A big mess.
Oh, yes, true. Okay,
No one can handle it.
The next question is world without men.
I think we can manage. No, but
Okay.
I believe we need both. I think a world with men, it's gonna be a luxury, and so world without men is gonna be less luxury.
Okay. And last question is Rabia.
Yeah.
Rabia.
Rabia is she's a woman.
Good. That's enough. Women, that's enough. It says everything. It says everything. I appreciate your answers. Thank you all panelists. Now we will take some questions for 5 minutes. Okay. So here we have got some questions. Okay, the first question is how to balance personal and professional life. I think Dr. Mini, if she can.
Yeah. Am I audible now?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. To me, exactly this balance is not there. There is no work-life balance, but we do give priority at certain point of time, which is important. Like during the work is important without affecting very much the family, because you can't have a tight row. It is a you can't just draw a line between work and life. This is difficult. That is my answer, but we have to somehow manage it. It so happens, once if you give me 1 more minute, I can tell you work-life balance is extremely difficult during our early career years, because we have equal responsibility. We have to prove ourselves in our work career. That is a starting point. As well as during that period only, we might have started a family also. So family also requires your presence quite a lot. But as and when you progress, like I can very well say at this point of time, I can decide which is important, which is, because the family also knows where we are, etc. So that is how it stands. You have to give priority as to which point of time what is important. That is my answer to the question.
Thank you so much for your answer, ma'am. Before I take the next question, I acknowledge gracious presence of Art and Director Dr. Deepak Mathur is here with us. Thank you, sir, for joining us. Okay. Now, next question is, okay, she is Harshada Salvi. She is working as assistant professor from Ratnagiri. She is. Her question is, many of my female students complain that they are given less challenging problems during team-based work initiatives, particularly during internships. In such scenario, how can they cope up? Yes. Thitapon, will you answer this?
Yes. For me, I think that maybe in the first part, when your student just enter into the internships, they need to present their work first. I mean, they need to introduce themselves. So the owner or maybe the boss over there can see the potentials of your students. And during the internships, your students also really need to do more work. I mean, you really need to do something to show that you have something. Do you understand what I mean? Because it's not just about you get the work and you totally fine with it. It's not. You can talk to the boss or to your advisor that I think maybe this like I can do more than this, but just talk in the polite way, and maybe you try to show your potential in somehow, maybe in the discussion or in presentation. Just find some way to show your potential, and then I think that the advisor will give you more work. Maybe at first they would like to try that. Okay, you say that you are good, so let's try this. You can do it or not, like this. So it's more challenging. So I think that it just depends on individual perspective to to show off, yeah, around that. Yeah.
Thank you for your answer.
I agree with Titapon, and I would like to add to that, that yes, first, just get the things done that you are asked to do, and don't expect that you will get the most challenging problem from day one. And once you prove that you can do what you've been asked, maybe then you can start making suggestions and carve your own way. Like, let's say, you can suggest how to go about the problem rather than waiting for the problem to be given to you. Suggest already solution to problem that you identify, and maybe, you know, you will be given the task.
Thank you, Alexandra. Alexandra, one more question for you from Nityavati. Dear ma'am, very nice panel discussion. As we do something great, there is an ego problem with our partners. How to overcome this situation? Ego problem. Alexandra.
Ego problem. So I assume it's in the relationship. It is challenged because males, they've been always seen as the ones who provide, the main providers for the family, and now it's changing. It's equally, it can be men as well as women, and the stereotype is slow to change. And how to cope with ego? Well, I think it's just about discussion between the partners. That's, you know, you're not the only one. It's not the whole household, or the budget of the household doesn't depend on one person. It's two people, and therefore the responsibilities should be shared equally, and also regarded the needs, and to set time aside for work should be divided equally between both partners. So yeah, communication.
Yeah, correct. I totally agree with you. Thank you for your answer, Alexandra. Now, the next question is a few tips on starting WI affinity group in our college and expanding it well. The question is from Venu Upadhyay. I repeat the question, few tips on starting WI affinity group in our college and expanding it as well. Dr. Mimi, if you can answer this, I think you are doing great in WI, so I think you are the best person to answer this question.
Okay, Forum. For starting, I think you need only 6 members. There is a procedure for starting. I don't have to explain it here, but you can start your activities in your college if you have an SB there, because the membership for the students are free. So both girls and boys can also be a member of WI. It's free for the students, but you should have a professional advisor, advisor in your SB. Now, regarding the activities, the first thing when once you decide to start itself, you should have a plan of action. If you are interested, we can take it offline. I can give you a detailed view on how things can be done. I think that is better for him, right?
Yes, yes, correct. Agree.
You can connect me offline. I can help you. No problem.
Yeah, it is the best way. Yeah, that's true. Because for this, you know, initially we need continuous guidance. So for that, if somebody is with you, that becomes easier. Okay, so now the next question is from Matthew. The question is, what are some of the ways that companies can better accommodate gender equality improvements to set higher standards of diversity for their workers, managers, and executives? Rabia, if you can answer this.
Yeah, I think first case should be, I mean, while they are inducting, they should advertise in a way that they should attract more women. In a case where they have less men, where they have less men, women working in their department, they should advertise in a case where they should encourage women, and they should, like, for example, set a certain percentage, like that we're gonna induct 60% women or 40% men. And this gonna be, for this they have to be, you know, I mean, they should have this thing in mind that we are doing this to promote diversity. Otherwise they can't do that. I mean, if they are just hiring it on their, you know, general regular basis, or however things go in different parts of the world. But if you want to target that certain percentage, then you should advertise and you should induct. Definitely you're going to get good choices. I mean, it's not that women don't meet up those merit, we do. So it's just like you should set more percentage of seats for them and a lesser percentage of seat for men if you want to compensate the difference.
Thank you for your answer, Rabia.
Adding to Rabia, I would like to give
Yes,
one
ma'am.
more
Yes,
point.
ma'am.
Women-friendly policies of companies also very important, you know, especially during the early career. If
Yep.
they're given some slots like work from home, or maybe they're transferred placed closer to their house, those kind of women-friendly policies are also equally important, I feel. That's all.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
totally
And
agree.
childcare, I think she mentioned the right point. Childcare policies, because I've seen some companies giving childcare leaves to women, which is a big encouragement, because that is, I think, one of the main hurdles that most of the women face in their career.
Okay, so now we will take only one question. I have 10 another, I think list is very long, but we will take only one. Okay, so the question is, what should I do after my degree? Okay, should I go for further studies or should I go to industries? Alexandra? I think you
Sorry,
are.
I was muted. Yeah, that's good question. Exactly the same question I was asking myself. I think depends whether you love to do research or industry and academia are very different. If you want to be in industry, be ready to produce a lot of papers, and some industries, some academia, some universities require to balance lecturing as well as doing research, which is sometimes tough to balance. So if you're not ready to do either of those or one of those, then go for industry. Industry is quicker to change than university, and you will have to be, I think, more agile in your professional development in industry compared to academia.
Thank you so much, Alexandra. Okay, so here I think rest questions I'll be mailing the answers. That is the best way. Okay. Now we are towards the end of the program, and I would ask Professor Taranum Bloch for word of thanks. Professor Taranum Bloch, okay, I'll allow to talk. Yes, now you can. Professor Taranum? I think she's having some problems. Okay, fine. No issues. I thank you all. As you all accepted my invitation immediately, and it was, last moment plan, and everything was in like hurry, but it went well. I am extremely thankful to all the panelists for spending their valuable time with us, and we will soon plan another event with you all. And I'm also thankful to IEEE Gujarat section team, who is always supporting us, and Director Deepak Mathuri is present with us. That is really, and now I feel that this event was successful. Deepak sir is here with us. I'll allow him to talk. Sir, if you want to share, just a second. I think, yes, Deepak sir.
Thank you, Forum. It was really a great panel, and I enjoyed. In fact, I was just telling you that day, if you can include one man also in this panel, then it will be complete, and we can answer many questions together. So, thank you, Forum, for such a nice panel and taking this initiative for our members. And I think this is going to be very fruitful for the participants who have attended and who have posed the questions. And panelists have really very well gave all the answers. And a big thank from my side, from Gujarat section, to all of them. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
so much, sir, and we will take your suggestion in consideration. And next time, for sure, we will include you in the panelist.
Thank you, Forum. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Now I'll share my screen so that. Wait a second. I'll share my screen. Please tell me if you can see. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
wow.
Oh, it's so pretty.
Thank you.
On behalf of WI Agriculture Section team, I hope you all would like it.
Yes,
Yeah,
thank
it's
you very
beautiful.
much.
Yeah, that's good.
Thank you so much. I'll be mailing you this.
Thank
Wow.
you.
Thank you for organizing this. It was a pleasure.
I'm glad that I could get all my friends on this platform. Thank you so much. Thank you all.
Thank you. Have a good rest of the day.
Same to you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Goodbye.
Bye.